How are you ladies today?
Hello,
Hi, Jeff.
everybody.
Good.
Hi. Hello.
Let me pull up chat and see who's. Say big hello to everybody. Just gotta.
Oh, there's only a couple so far.
Okay.
So today I have as my guest Michelle, and Michelle is a tarot student at the moment. She's waiting for her first deck, and so she's going along, and she's going to ask the questions that everybody wants to ask. And if she doesn't ask the question that you want to ask, go ahead and put it in the comments. And I have Heather with Indigo, Jaguaer, Intuitive Arts. How are you today, Heather?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. And again, I had a blast yesterday, Thomas and Hershe, with the scavenger hunt. Thank you for having me.
You're
I
so
was
welcome.
I was wondering if you got the mess cleaned up. I would have been very stressed over doing that.
I had like 15, 20 decks.
Just everywhere.
And I was even going along with Tom going, hey, do I have any bells? That's a good question. Do I have any of them? So kind of like, and I'm glad Tom went first so that, I had kind of an idea what to expect. So, but yeah, I saw the show last week and I loved how you were going over the card and then finding cards that represented the same energy, but in a different, I don't want to say situation, but in a different element. And I asked Tom and Hershey, "Oh, I would love to join. Can I join the next one?" And it was so cool because it's number 8, and that's my life path number. And I didn't think of it until afterwards. So, thank you for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
So you have a strong sense of conviction, I would say, if that's your life path number.
Yeah, I get pretty, when I get onto something, and then, but
You don't say.
but strength definitely was stuff that I've been through in my life. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the 8, the strength card, most definitely.
And Hershey, as ever, is with me. Thank you for co-hosting. I'm on a telephone today because my computer crapped out with microphone. So I'll have to figure out what's going on with that. I've rebooted and plugged and unplugged and just can't figure it out today.
Oh, hey Jeff. I finally just pulled up the chat and I went to go say hi, and then there you're saying hi. So hey Jeff. my fellow port laureate. So.
Yeah. I am well today. I must say it has been a few challenges today since my feet hit the floor. There's been my fair share of challenges. So I'm right there with you, brother.
It's been eventful.
I'm sorry, what?
Stay strong, sister. It'll all get worked out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nothing
for
serious.
Sure.
So people
Nothing
are
serious.
concerned. It's nothing serious.
But I just want to I just want to say something. If I have ever offended anybody, I swear that was never my intentions. I do not like bullying, and if anybody ever feels like I bullied them, just talk to me, man, because I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies. So just putting that out there for anybody in the future or anybody in my past. Something was brought to my knowledge today, and I just want to say, I'm not for that. I'm against it. So, if the person I offended happens to cross this, reach out. Let's talk about it, because I did not mean it in a way it was took.
I think that's good to say, and I think I can speak for all of us and a lot of people in this community, and especially for myself, is that my intentions are always going to be from a positive point. So I might come off by saying something in a way that maybe perhaps could have been said a lot in a better way. However, if it's ever interpreted as a negative comment, please reach out to me, because my intention is always going to be from a positive place. So if that being said, if someone interprets something, because you could have said it perhaps better, reach out to you, reach out to all of us.
So I wanted to start today's strength about, should have done this at the beginning of the series. What is intuition? Now we have two different types of intuition, and one is instinctual, that is for all mankind. We're born with it. It is innate. It's how men and women have survived on Earth up till this point. So when you hear a jaguar roar or a lion roar, that you need to take up arms and defend yourself, or get the heck out of there, or whatever you need to do to stay alive. You don't climb trees because both those animals are adept climbers. But you would have found that out. Your ancestors found that out, so you knew not to run up that tree instinctually. So the other type of intuition comes from life experience, and it's the sum of everything that you've experienced and thought and dealt with in the past, and that goes into that subconscious brain and gets processed. So when you have a bad feeling about something, that's your body remembering a time that was similar or reminded you of something that's similar that's past, and you've got that gut feeling. If your hair stands on end, and are you cold? If you're not cold, is there something in the air? Is there, like, if you're out in the middle of a field and your hair starts standing on end, it's time to duck for cover because lightning's about to hit. And it's just those things that make up intuition. So when I'm talking about intuition for the tarot, is anytime you're looking at a card and you get a feeling or something draws you in, to get its attention, get your attention, that if at all possible, from a story from your past, try to bring that into the reading so your querent knows what this card is talking about in this instance. Now we're going to be talking about the strength card, and it's not all about brute force. Sometimes there's strength from gentleness, and we'll go through some fictional and real characters that have those qualities in them. So reading tarot with intuition is the science of tarot is knowing the keywords. The art of tarot is picking out an appropriate keyword, and if there's not an appropriate keyword, looking at the picture and seeing what strikes you at that moment and trying to work that into your reading. So, ladies, anything you want to say about intuition that way? Or do I have it all wrong?
Well, for me, just if I can just jump on really quick. I mean, in my name for my channel right now, I have the word intuitive because for me, I've always been very intuitive. Sometimes I haven't always listened to it, and it's kind of come back and bit me on the backside a few times. But looking back on, my life, my art, not just my tarot or the art in the tarot, but my art itself has always been very intuitive. Anything creative that I do is intuitive. And I think our intuition really comes from a place of more of our like our sacral chakra, you know, our place of creativity. We're all born with it. We're all creative beings. We come from an all-powerful creator, creatrix, or creative spirit. And as I get older, I'm always learning. Sometimes my beliefs or understandings of certain words have changed. And for me, intuition is just that really that inner knowing that you have. And like Tom, you said, there's different types of, you know, there's the intuition that we have inherited as a species from our ancestors, our fight or flight response, you know, in our base chakras. And then you have your personal intuition where you learn to start listening with your body to your gut, to, like you said, the sensations, you know, in a room. We all have it, and some of us are more tapped into it than others. But for me, I've noticed a lot that I'll have certain key words, understandings for the tarot and for my oracle cards, but a lot of times I will like put cards down and I'll know what the meaning is, but according with the question is, the image resonates more. So I think it's too about when you get your decks, make sure that you connect with them, that you can make an intuitive connection, that you work with them, so that when you're doing a reading, if the meanings themselves aren't necessarily helpful, but more of the art and the images that connects with your own intuition, it's kind of like that telepathic kind of connection you have with not just the creator's energy and what they put into the cards, but yours as well. It's kind of like that coming together. And before I go on and on, I'll just stop right there. So I don't want to ramble.
And along with the intuition and the instinct, when you're reading cards, you know, you may think a different thought than, you know, what your normal head voice is, different wording. I go ahead and say those things. You may get a sensation, you may get a smell, you may get Hershe actually hears words. You may taste something bitter or acrid, or, you know, something to warn you of danger, or whatever, or a pleasant taste. You know, maybe you're thinking of grandma, and all of a sudden her famous oatmeal cookies, you know, you taste the vanilla and sense that, or, you know, smell the warmth and the oven and the warm spices in the air. So that is also intuition when you're reading. I often get the different wording in my own head voice. It's not different from what I sound like any other time, but it's just strange or peculiar wording. And then Hershe, you've got a whole different perspective on intuition, because we see visual cues of you getting hits.
I don't know how different it is. I mean, before I died, I still understood intuition as maybe life experiences trumping what a book was telling me. But having actual guides assist me with any and every conversation that I have for the rest of my life now, I would say that's intuition on a different level. I mean, I'm kind of putting my intuition to the side and going off of what one of them are instructing me with. So is it a form of intuition? Maybe. It's maybe a stretch for some people, but I still go back to the good old-fashioned life experiences over book knowledge. You know, I mean, I think that's your best start for intuition, for learning to trust yourself, learning to understand what life has to offer, and not just going on somebody else's word of mouth. I think, I mean, I don't know, I could be off, but I don't really use my intuition when I'm listening to what Miles says, or when Metatron comes in, or Azazel. I'm listening to what they say, and I'm following what their words are, and I'm holding on to them. But
So it's trusting what you're hearing, experiencing from your guides, because you don't question your guides. They're
absolutely not. When they say jump, I say how high.
So you have instant confirmation or clarity of situations, whereas Heather
For the
has
most part, yes, as long as there's no personal gain to it.
that to a degree, and then I probably am the weakest in that sense right now. But it's ramping up. So I look forward to keep doing this and watching my abilities grow, because ever since I've gone on YouTube, a lot of things have happened. So I look forward to it. So our keywords associated with strengths. We've got courage, inner power, resilience, patience, compassion, overcoming challenges. Would you say that's
Those are excellent words.
anything else?
I like resilience. That word just.
I definitely like resilience. I would say long haul. I would have put long haul in there because for me, strength is a huge factor about, literally digging in. You might as well get comfortable because this isn't something you're doing for a short time. You're going to be doing this, for a long time. You're going to need to stretch that strength out. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Cosmic. So
that's where our patience comes in. Is that long haul? Like I've never had children. I love to hear them screech, scream, and play, but I've heard other people around me say, "Oh, I just can't stand that," and it's like, don't you remember you were a child once and I love to make noise. I'd put the cards with the clothespins in my spokes. I would walk around with aluminum cans on my feet. I was the noisiest kid ever. So, as long as everything shuts down at 10 o'clock at night, I'm fine with letting kids be kids.
No, I was never meant to be a human mama. I'm happy being a fur baby mama. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Michelle.
Michelle?
Are you froze?
I
think you froze, honey.
Oh, yeah, we lost Michelle.
Yeah.
I will be on the lookout.
So our reverse keywords are inner weakness, self-doubt, lack of courage, power struggles, needing inner strength.
Now with me, I read mainly with upright because for my ability to retain information, I can't retain a lot. And so for me, how I've been doing tarot is I learn the uprights. Sometimes certain words reversed will be able to stick, but for me, when I do readings, I'll pull like an extra card to get a clarifier. But then there are times when, if a card does come out reversed, it's either my intuition, how I understand how to, for myself to read is to acknowledge that this particular card, this energy, needs to be really focused on. It needs really to be addressed. And I will, if I'm not too familiar with the reversal for that particular card, I will go ahead and I will pull out a book and I will scan and wait and for a phrase or something to jump out at me. Sometimes that happens too with my upright cards. I'll look at certain cards, whether it's my oracle or my tarot, and if something that the current person asked isn't really resonating with what I'm seeing, I'll know, okay, automatically I go grab the book and look for a passage or a line to jump out, and I'll go with that. So,
And
I think that's where I'll stop with this. But yes,
yeah,
okay.
well, each person has their own way of reading tarot, and reading everything upright is, because the tarot is balanced, you can get a balanced message reading everything upright. But you as a reader make that choice for yourself. And then like you, I'm sure you probably have your cards facing all the same way, and then when that reversal card comes out, it's like, I was so careful. How in the world did this get out here? So this has got something to say to me. So,
Yes.
Or about the question that was asked. So that is important, and I'm glad that you recognize that, and then go for assistance, because it's tarot your way. That's my whole deal, you know.
Yeah,
And Hershe, what about you for reversals?
Life is full of them, so why not?
And then
I don't see them as negative, though. Most people that know me already understand that I don't allow negative into my life. I don't allow it into my circle, and I damn sure don't allow it into my tools, because I work with some heavy tools. So I'll never see it as that. I will always see it as an awareness, as a challenge, as someone else's energy that I could be carrying. But I will never, ever, ever, as a shadow reader, see a reverse card as a negative.
You see it as a growth opportunity,
I
and something to
absolutely
work
do.
on.
And if you do not have them, that is like having an escalator for everything you do in life, and you're not gaining any momentum, you're not gaining any strength, you're not actually gaining any steps, because you're allowing the platform to be built, and you're just copying right along with everything that goes with what needs to be said. So in my world, it is a huge part of life, and therefore it's in my tools as well, so that they understand the difference. And I know if a whole lot of it shows up, then there is a huge warning, and we are now looking at arrows pointing at what are we being brought to our attention. So it is a huge, huge thing for me to have them in my deck. As soon as I get a deck, it goes immediately into its own direction. Regardless, I don't even call them reversals. I just call them challenges, awareness, or someone else's energy is interfering or trying to sway, or however it looks. But I'll never see it as a negative.
Well, and you also am I still here?
You're still here, but you're froze, bro.
Okay.
Nope, you're not froze.
Am I back?
You're back.
I'm unfroze. Okay.
You're unfroze.
And you also take cards that fall sideways as personal messages or relatives or something next to you.
Yes.
So
yep, if it falls to the left, because I'm a left-hand path, that means it's directly like my children, my living relatives that are directly like my immediate family. If it falls to my right, that lets me know that it's the extended family, or it's something that someone else is experiencing, that maybe I should reach out and try to see, do they need any kind of just see another opinion about something. Because sometimes just knowing what's on the other side of the coin gives people relief, because it's, it takes some of the pressure off already kind of understanding what's the worst case situation.
May I ask, what are you talking about? Like when it's something falls to the right or the left?
Oh, well, he's specifically talking about for me when I'm reading and a card falls sideways and not in a specific up vertical position.
And then, that only happens to Hershey because she has a lot of energy to her shuffle. When I shuffle, I put them through a card shuffler. So
I'm pretty heavy-handed, yeah.
It's very rarely that something will jump out explosively and go one way or another. But I do have fumble fingers at times.
I think that's good.
So, Michelle, did you get the keywords upright and reversed?
I did not. My computer turned off, and it finally just restarted. But I got on my phone. I got my other phone. I can look up. Stuff. So no, please repeat them.
Okay. For the upright, we got courage, inner power, resilience, patience, compassion, and overcoming challenges.
This one that I found also says, it might be the same, courage, bravery, confidence, compassion, self-confidence, inner power.
Yep.
Similar. And then for reverse, we have inner weakness, self-doubt, lack of courage, power struggles, needing inner strength.
Low confidence, inadequacy, cowardice, forcefulness.
Yeah. All good words.
And then the love, did you have the upright love meaning of this card?
I didn't have the upright love meaning of the card.
Well, confidence, drawing lovers, strong, caring relationship.
Yeah, definitely when you have confidence, you can
there are
attract
actually
people.
Keywords for the career and finances upright says self-mastery at work, bold career moves, taking big steps, large purchases, controlled spending. Interesting.
That's what Heather needs right now, controlled spending.
And
so there's a challenge for it. I just now noticed this challenge. It says, look at this card as a challenge and emphasize the necessary indication of the depth of emotion and turn it from that into a rigid front. What does that mean?
Rigid front, like a strong protection, like a strong stance. You know,
are they saying take the emotion out of it though? I mean, am I understanding it?
Well, don't be afraid of fear, but stand up for yourself and maintain that projection of strength and don't back down if you're intimidated.
Okay.
I have a book and deck that came from Barnes and Noble. Shank got this for me last year. It was only $25. It was by Tina Gaughan, and it came with a nice thick book and it came with a deck of cards. And what I love what she did for each of the cards is that she gave you the keywords, but then over on the other side here, she's got upright and reverse, but she also includes an interpretation, a reflection, an action that can be taken, and questions that you can ask yourself of the energies that pertain to each of the cards. And one of them, like for reflection, her question that you can use as like a writing prompt is, how can you call on your inner strength to make the choices that are best for you, even if your fears, colleagues, or family members are discouraging you? So she puts into these really insightful questions that you can use to journal when you read on the cards. This is a fabulous book, and it's no longer there at my location, but Five Below did have the paperback, the soft copy, at their store, and it was only $5.
I need that book. I need that as a source book. I like it.
So yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking you can get it as a source book. but that would have to take some. But even, you know, Stephen mentioned that he had seen it at his Five Below, and later on when I want to go back, see if to go get it, I was like, I already have the hardcover. Why would I need a soft cover? But the soft cover is not as heavy, and so it would have been a nice book to carry around. But it was all gone. It was that popular. So, but it's tarot. And if you want the deck of cards, you might still be able to get it through Barnes and Noble because it was a Barnes and Noble exclusive. And the name is Tina.
I'll look there. I'll definitely look there first.
And the last name is Gong, Gong, like Bana Gone. So it's Tina
Okay.
Gong. But she does that for every single, and also she breaks down the different and she talks about reversals. And she also breaks down the suits. And there's also where she breaks the major arcana into three groups of the conscious, the unconscious, and the superconscious. And the first card that starts the unconscious is the strength card, number 8. And it's about mind, moral, internal, inward search, adulthood, and a collective. She really goes through and just really very insightful, you know, makes you really kind of dig deeper into your cards. And
I might have to go look for that at my Five Below. If there, I think there's a Five Below around here. I don't even know.
I mean, they switch out their
I'm sure there
books
is.
a lot. But even if you go on to Barnes and Noble, $25 for a thick book and the cards that I use, I like write notes and keywords on them as I'm studying, going through this. Sometimes I'll write certain words that she may put in that regular other books don't. So that way I kind of build up my vocabulary, possible vocabulary to extend to, you know, my other decks. So yeah.
Interesting. Good to know.
So on the card, the symbology is we have this woman gently trying to persuade the lion to close his mouth with compassion. And then we have the infinity sign above her head, the limniscate, and I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But
Unlimited
that's,
potential. Would you say limitless?
No, limniscate.
Infinite strength and endurance. But it's the infinity sign in mathematics.
The limniscate, yeah.
Oh, limniscate. That's what you're saying.
Amazon has it for $16. Whoa!
Well, there you go. Thank you, Stephen. See, I'm telling you, that's the man. You want him. You want him in your chat. He knows how to find stuff. Thanks, dude.
And so she's got flowers in her hair, and flowers is maybe a shawl or a wrap, and that's for beauty, grace, and nurturing. So the strength that she has is a strength and gentleness.
Yeah, I have a deck. See, for me, I like the strength cards where the hands aren't being forced or have to be forced or put around the line. There's enough trust and respect and tenderness between the female and the lion to know that there needs to be no fear or no force, that they're just connected together. And one of my decks, the Mystic Palette by Marchetti, he actually uses a tiger, and I think it's so beautiful because it's like she's also sharing her divine wisdom and nurturing and healing and guidance to the tiger. So while the tiger is there to help heal her and be her strength, her guide, she's also giving back and giving that healing energy and love to, you know, the tiger as well. So I wanted to share that. That's a really beautiful card.
Yeah.
So the mountains in the background, just wanting you to know that challenges can be overcome by inner strength. The wreath of the garland around her head, victory and achievement. The tamed lion, conquering primal instincts through gentle control. So there's a lot of symbology on the card. Characters are people that we may know that have strength through power. Clark Kent. He's the gentle newspaper man, but when he turns into Superman, he's got strength. Hercules, Thor, Wonder Woman, Aragorn from
Aragorn.
yeah, and Achilles. So those are characters that are strength through power, and then we got people strength through gentleness. Are people like Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird, Gandalf, Yoda, Mary Poppins, Uncle Ara from Avatar. I've never seen the movie, so I don't know that. Mr. Rogers. You know, I have a feeling that Mr. Rogers was the same person on and off the screen. You know, he was always gentle. I can't imagine Fred Rogers cussing anyone out.
Well, I do
But
believe he either worked for the FBI or the CIA, one of those, before he became Mr. Rogers to work with the children.
He was military.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we have Matilda and Frodo.
Who's
Baggins.
Matilda?
Matilda is a little girl that used her imagination to inspire her classmates to rise up against a very tyrannical teacher.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And get adopted by somebody other than her terrible parents, which I happen to love.
Her terrible parents? You love her terrible parents?
Of course we love her terrible parents. You couldn't get better if you're going to have the worst. You might as well have them as the worst.
So typical symbols of strength, we think of a lion, oak tree, mountains, anchors, a fist,
Infinity symbol.
a raised fist, shields, hammers, knots, the phoenix, the tiger, an infinity symbol, and whatever else you can come up with. And if any of these things give you ideas, make sure you write them down in your journal or possible keywords for you for an intuition hit. I don't know the reason why, but some tarot decks switch 11 and 8. Come on.
Yeah, I was looking at
Really?
that. Yeah.
They'll switch the cards?
No, just the numbers.
Well, that's what I mean.
Strength and justice. So in some decks, justice will be the 8th card and strength will be the 11th card.
That's how it is.
Wow. I don't think I have a deck like that. Mine are all 8. Very interesting.
The only deck I have that does it is the Witch's Wisdom. My strength card is number 14.
Wow.
So how does that work? Like in regards to how the number 8, like how the numbers in numerology wise, like how it applies.
And it just switches them around for that deck only. It's each tarot deck can be interpreted all on their own by their
Creator.
Mm-hmm.
By their creator's intentions and what they write to tell you about.
Okay.
So if you're using that deck, try to use that system. But if you can't wrap your head around it, that
so then within that deck and that book, perhaps they'll explain why they associated it maybe with that number.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Excuse me.
That was interesting. Tom, you had really quick. You had the Phoenix for the strength card, but for me, I see the Phoenix as like the death card. It's a rebirth. It's transformation. So for me, I can see how Phoenix would be. People would see it as a sign of of strength. But for me, when I see the Phoenix, I think of death and the death card. and rebirth, or maybe even, I don't know about judgment, but I thought that was interesting how you had the keyword for well, one of the associations was being a phoenix.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, it's, they're just trying to write down some things that would make people think this.
And if I could share another card, if I may, Thomas, really quick, my Star Tarot. I really love this card at first sight. Of course, now I have issues with snakes, so I was like, "Oh no, why is she holding the snake by the right in there?" But it made me think, because when you had the phoenix down there, because the phoenix represents transformation, and so does a snake. So in this card, it's interesting that they put the association or a snake in her hand, while standing beside the lion. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that. But I do not like snakes.
And
Well,
if
it
you
says
have
on
any,
here the meaning of the Kabbalistic letter is serpent.
That might be why they put that in there. I mean, that book just alone.
What is the Kabbalistic letter?
it's the Hebrew tree of life, where they put the letters in certain places.
But where's that on the card? At the bottom, huh?
I don't. On this,
the bottom right.
Well, it's just in the eighth. It's just in the 8th position of the tree of life, and it has a glyph representing the Hebrew letter.
Okay, I thought it was something on the card.
It is not on the card.
Oh.
Some cards do have the Hebrew alphabet on them.
So really quick, the red snake represents her control over her passions. The snake also symbolizes the awakening Kundalini, the fire that motivates her to move forward. So me necessarily, I don't think that was necessary for the card, for the strength card, but that was the author and the artist, inspiration to put that in there. Yeah. Again, another really insightful book. And she mentions decans, and I'm not too familiar with that too. So that's something else I have to start learning and studying about the tarot, things called decans or decants, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
This one doesn't have the woman holding the lion's mouth, but it has like a red, like robin.
There's the red again.
Do you think it would be an act of strength even to be by a lion?
Oh, absolutely. Courage.
And to have tamed it so she could be by it without worrying?
Courage and compassion, because I think of it when I was reading the traits of it, and I was actually just thinking of myself with my dog and the patience I have with him, and like how I can his trust with me, and how I can touch him, his mouth, whatever, and like in my movements are gentle and not swift, so it's calming. And I just related to that, like how he, you know what I mean? Because I drop everything. So my dog is very aware of gravity, and he's very anxiety. Like he'll move. So for me to get him to trust and not quickly move out of the way at times has been a big improvement for him, because he's smart. He knows that I'm going to drop something on him. So I get just kind of related to that, like her stillness too, and just the trust and the energy. It's beautiful.
And another thing I wanted to share really quick too with one of my strength cards is that in the Tarot de Louis, I love, and I mean there's possibly maybe a hint of a mountain, but I love that there's a temple. And for me, it feels like he is there protecting her and her inner temple, her sacred temple. So it's that beautiful protection of, her spirituality, her sacredness.
It's her saying, I'm pretty calm. Don't piss me off, because my lion's going to come out. I'm going to attack.
Okay.
Anything to add, Hershe?
So, yeah, actually, I do want to add something. So, for me, one thing that I always look for when I see it is I look for the spiritual part of it, like where where is it at spiritually? Where are
Mhm.
we at as the archetype that took off at ground zero, and now to be here and where we're at here at 8, numerology, whatever the word is,
Numerology.
no, not that one. Numerically, the number repeats itself, so therefore it has to stand for something that's emphatic. For me, when I think of something emphatic, I think immortal. I think never ending. I think longevity. And I wonder where, like, where does everybody else fall on that level when it comes to seeing this card as a spiritual card?
Well, this talks spiritual. If you can see it. No, huh? Not very well.
Well, I mean, I don't. I mean, if I look at the pictures, like this one,
Oh, that's
very
beautiful,
gentle.
Michelle.
To,
Yeah, and you see the horns on the lion.
Yeah.
to have
Yeah,
to
and
have
then
faith,
yeah,
and be convicted by faith, you have to be strong in order to defend your convictions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm not that far off.
Or you have to be gentle with others and let it slide if it rancors you.
hmm
See, now for me, my mystic palette is very spiritual because they're sharing, she's blessing and giving like the divine light being shared, you know, between each other. So for me, of the ones I have in front of me, this one truly feels like her. She brought up the spiritual nature or aspect of the strength card. So I find this is one of my favorite strengths. It's just very beautiful. That spiritual energy being passed on between each other, between the both of them.
Okay, good.
So-
I was always wondering it because, granted, you guys know, I have a lot of decks and I have a lot of clones, and those clones sometimes are neither woman or animal, and like, but the ones that I have, they're all about. To me, like when I see this strength card and she's standing there amongst all these animals that are standing beside her, there's got to be some kind of unspoken something going on here that these animals would emphatically want to, be around her. When I look at the Truth Seeker Tarot, and I see that she's gently, like, she's passionately, like, looks like she's stroking him almost. And in this one, she looks like she's about to rip his jaws apart in the Marseille. And then, like, this one is a rabbit that's gently, like, just brushing the nose of this wolf or whatever it is. And this one, she's closing the mouth of the lion in the Waterfall Terra Oracle deck. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret that, and I don't think you can do it by near strength alone. I think it's definitely a sign that there's something more that's not being spoken on enough.
Same here.
Well,
with
in one of the cards that you spoke of with her, with all the animals around, it's like they know that she's been appointed the authority, or she has shown that she is the authority, and she's a gentle leader, and she won't hurt them and they won't hurt her, for the mutual respect. And so it takes strength to overcome your innate characteristics as well. So for them to be calm and gentle when their instinct would be to tear someone apart, the animals.
There's 16 animals in this picture, and they're all just right there with her. And then I think about 16 being 8 times 2, and then we're breaking it down to where 8 goes into itself twice, and 4 is infinite, and 2 is infinite. Pretty much any even number is infinite. It just keeps constantly going into itself over and over and over and over and over again. So there are so many different things. And then I so get the same vibes. And I know this is a stretch, but when I look at how much spirituality is tied to this card, I tie this card to the star card every single time because of the hope and the spiritual strength that is tied to the star card.
This card I found has people kind of in the background, like whispering, like as if you are also dealing with, sorry.
I
Can you see
think
it?
kind of on the same boat.
On this side.
What Stephen was saying.
Sorry, that was my dog. Anyways, you got it. Yeah, how the exactly, just like what was his comment about the higher nature to rule over the beast nature and bring harmony to oneself?
It's about using the higher nature to rule over beast nature and bring harmony into oneself. So retaining that,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, searching within and finding the inner strength,
the wild beast,
Well,
and the courage to face.
Yeah, and to be gentle also encourages strength. It requires strength, to restrain
And control.
and remain in control. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I was just saying,
Today,
you have to hold control over yourself. You can't let fear take over. You can't let dictatorship take over. You have to stay balanced in there.
this says the strength card talks about developing that courage from within. This is not battling yourself per se, though the need to overcome some personal addiction or trait you decide is unfavorable definitely falls into the realm of this card. Today, you are being asked to take stock on how you deal with life and then internalize the results. They don't all serve you well and sometimes leading to crushing insecurities. Today, you are being asked to dig deep and face a fear or fears that is holding you back. Don't want to make that call to the debt collecting agency? Do it. Can't face that awful woman at work? Face her. You can do it. The strength card says you can, and it says you can do it elegantly with a lion. Asterisk Bob Marley. I don't know if you really said that. But
absolutely. My this one calls it adjustment. So Thoth calls it adjustment. So lust, adjustment, they're all different keywords that mean the same thing. So absolutely.
I just like that it was maybe a quote from Bob Marley. I don't know.
Yeah, that was nice.
Unless it was somebody else with the name of Bob Marley.
Now, according to the Good Tarot, Colette Baron Reed, she refers to it as keyword as endurance. And she just wrote, I can go the distance and know that everything occurs in divine appropriate timing. I have courage as I manifest miracles. When I allow spirit to work through me, I am strong enough to move mountains and overcome any obstacles inside or out. Sweet, precise, and to the point. That's what I like too about, the Good Tarot.
And grounded.
Yep. Numerology.
And they wonder why I have so many. It's so difficult to pick something because, like you guys claim, and not claim, it is the truth. Everything is addicting because there's so many wonderful interpretations and beautiful sayings that you want to collect a lot. So I don't know if I want to start down that rabbit hole. Just kidding. It's too late, huh?
Well, there's gonna be a time before these 78 weeks are up that you better pick a tarot deck.
Well, I'm already gonna have an oracle card on the way, oracle deck on the way.
Yay! Now this is a good thing to get to. They give you the basic. It's pretty much Rider Waite, and they give you the keywords on the top, and then if it comes up reverse, they give you So now and then I will grab this if I really feel like I need to know exactly a reverse also. And those, so these are really good, Michelle, and they're not expensive. I think I paid maybe 20. It was like $19.95 or something like this at a metaphysical store about a year ago or so. So they might be.
But not all of them have it written like that, right? So it's just a certain one.
She's trying to decide, Tom, and you're just on time. We are We are just now to the numerology, so we still got a little bit to cover, and your input is wildly needed.
Oh, that's okay.
They tell
you have to send me what deck that is, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
it's good for learning. It really is.
Yeah.
It's Learner's Tarot or Apprentice Tarot. It's a U.S. Games deck.
I still use it.
Yes, we're trying to get her to pick out a deck, or somebody just mail her one, and then she don't have a choice. But you know, we're working on it. We're working on it.
I finally started looking at them,
learning it. So yes, she's doing great.
And actually, I kind of felt like I don't want to have to work to interpret these. Maybe I don't want a deck. I'm being lazy. I will. I'll get one.
Yeah, Tom, I got a deck yesterday, an oracle deck that I got that I didn't really like. So I asked Michelle if she would like it. So I'm going to send it to her. So, yeah. That's how she's
See, I knew the one that was meant for me would find its way to me.
That's right.
Well, it's an oracle. It's not a tarot. Just so
that's okay, because I resonated with all the oracle that Hershe was, because we sat one Sunday or Saturday, or Friday, I don't freaking know what day it was, but she pulled out like 14 decks, oracle, tarot, the different types, and we did a short walkthrough, and there were about 4 oracles that she showed me that I was like yes, 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 but then the tarot I was kind of like yes, like whatever. So, and she said that was the deck that she showed me.
Tower card, y'all. It's the tower card that is the make it or break it for her. So whatever deck she gets, it's gonna have one hell of a tower card. I'm just saying.
Very cool.
All right, back on topic. Sorry, Thomas.
Yep, sorry, Thomas.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, in numerology, it's associated with ambition, authority, business acumen, and material success. It is a powerful and influential number. People with an 8 life path are seen as confident, goal-oriented, and capable of achieving significant accomplishments.
Yeah,
so is that your life path there?
It does. I don't. I feel, for me, looking at that, I feel like I've really dropped the ball a lot, and I haven't really lived up to my life path number. So I'm hoping that at some point, maybe I'll do something or achieve something that will show me that, I thought this life path.
I thought that meant a life path. I thought it means sometimes is your time to learn how to master that too. So saying you drop the ball kind of goes along with just you needing to focus and learn to master it, right?
See, she's insightful. She's using intuition. She knows what she's doing.
I don't need those damn stinking cards. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
So our other 8s in the decks, the 8 of Wands, swift dynamic energy, rapid progression.
Oh,
quick communications or events unfolding rapidly.
Oh, oops. All I do is look for the sparkler.
Heather's like, oh, I didn't get any of those out.
Oh, no. Oh, there's my 8 of Swords.
Bro, are you frozen?
Keep it out.
Yep. Oh, no.
I think we're all good.
Okay.
Okay, here's my 8 of Wands for this deck. I'm not too crazy about it. It's just, I love the horse, but I'm not really into like the Roman era thing. So he puts a lot of Roman soldier headgear on him, but still, it's a pretty cool card. And see, now I have, let's see.
Our 8 of Cups, emotional transitions and walking away from situations that no longer serve emotional well-being. So if you know that it is messing with your head and you need to get away from it, walk away.
Okay, there's another 8 of Swords. No, I have a deck that has. Well, I'll wait till we get to the swords.
That's next.
Shoot, I can't find my wands.
They usually just fly through the air and there's nothing with them.
I'm just looking to see because I have a deck that doesn't really include the actual
I got my 8s.
swords or.
It's still 8s, though. Cartomancy is still a form of divination.
Yeah, I know, but they're not.
There's my
I was hoping the pictures would go along with it. I can't. Whatever. Stupid camera.
It's interesting that mine has a cardinal. It didn't come with the book for Marchetti's. There was when he originally, I guess, released these. It came with a nice thick book. But when I
have a cardinal flying away right here.
Oh, really? Okay, so I gotta look up cardinal and add that to it. But yeah, she's pretty cool. I like that one. I think I'll just stick to that.
And we have cardinal red turrets on the castle in the background of just the RWS.
So the cardinal represents the messages from loved ones, it says.
That's interesting.
So the 8 of Swords typically represents feelings of restriction or being trapped. Change of perspective or break free from self-imposed limitations is needed.
See, now with this 8 of Swords, there's no swords. It just shows her laying down on a broken clock. And it says 8 of Swords. So for me, with this deck, I'll use a little bit of the knowledge of what the 8 of Swords represents, but I'll look more at the image and what the image, portends. But it's a beautiful deck, and I love her horns. She's got horns too on her head. I love that. Kind of like Maleficent horns. I did find my did we already do 8 of Cups?
Yeah, walking away from emotionally bad situations for one's mental health.
That's my 8 of Cups in this deck right there.
So we'll have to recap these. The 8 of Cups, walking away from emotional baggage or things that aren't serving you. The Swords, that's where we're at, right?
That's where we were.
Which is what it was like. What was that?
Self-imprisonment. Self-imprisonment.
Okay, because swords are your action.
Feelings of restriction, being trapped. Change perspectives to break free from self-imposed restriction.
And now wands you're at, or are you at
Pentacles?
Pentacles, okay.
So I chose one deck. Okay.
It's the hard work, it's the labor, it's the apprenticeship card. So hard work, dedication, mastery of skills indicates focus on craftsmanship, attention to details, and diligence in the material world.
Building your craft, building your, I don't know, crafting, mastering.
So Tom, does the energy of the strength card supposed to reflect in the 8s in the other suits? Okay.
Yes. The energy of the strength or
courage
or the gentleness.
It makes sense.
Courage.
It takes strength to walk away from things that are no longer serving you.
Yep.
It takes strength to keep building and being the apprentice, right? And master crafting. And when the work's piling on, you got to just keep knocking it away. So then the knives, what was it? Sorry, again, the swords were, the strength to recognize your own imprisonment, right? And like everything's about releasing it, right? And like shedding it and purging what is no longer
She's
Serving.
gonna be a hell of a reader when she gets a deck, y'all. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
telling
know.
you,
No
she's
Yeah.
gonna
kidding.
know them
Holy
cards
shit.
like nothing else. She'll be
Book
like, look,
schmook.
girl, I
Shit.
knew you was
Okay, you
at
know what?
dinner
Maybe
5
my
days ago.
sorry, maybe my first deck is gonna be mine that I create. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, I'm just kidding.
It will be
That's a lot of
nice.
work.
No, don't. You can
It's a
go
lot
on
of
a
work.
Canva. Everybody's creating on Canva and creating indie decks with it. So,
Yep.
there's you get the paid
I
one that's
feel
good for a
like
year.
my niece Madison, who's the artist, and I feel like if it might be something where you create what I'm saying, like I don't know, maybe light bulb. We'll see. But
That
she's only 16, so who knows if she'd even be interested.
Or you can use artificial intelligence too. Some people don't like artificial intelligence, but for some people, how they, different apps that they work with, they describe what they want to create in the card. And sometimes that AI can create something that really truly resonates on a deep level with the person who is creating it. So it
Yeah.
depends on, how you feel.
So, but then the next one. So wait, wands is your thoughts, right? And then swords is your actions. Is that?
Wands are more about action. Swords for me
Oh.
are more about thought.
Okay,
Well,
I had it
don't know.
backwards.
No,
I had it
don't talk.
backwards.
Go ahead, Tom. This is I'm sorry. I think I might be confusing both Michelle and I, and I don't want to confuse you guys and people in chat.
Yeah. Well, just basically in general, the
Yeah.
swords are your air sign, your thoughts.
Okay, that's air sign. Okay.
Wands are the fire sign, so it's energy, creation, passion.
Okay.
Pentacles are your earth sign, so earthly goods, material possessions, your money, your wealth, your surroundings.
Cups is
Cups are emotion.
Cups are
Water.
emotion.
Water.
And
That's
water,
me,
yeah.
dude. Pisces. Okay, so I had those flipped around because I was thinking swords was that, but I can tell because we're our worst critics, so I can. I'm trying to just apply a way for me to remember it. So our words, we hurt ourselves the most. The swords, wands. You said being fire, so that was
Feel the fire, feel the passion, the
crafting your
creativity.
action. Okay.
Willpower. Yeah.
Okay, so then when it comes to an 8 with, okay, willpower, then the courage to not sit still. I guess I'm not sure. I'm trying to I think I'm going a little faster. You're not even at the wands yet. I'll just
No,
quiet
we've
for
had
now.
the
You
wands.
can
The
take it.
wands were the
Oh, you
first
did
one
pass the
that
wands. Okay,
you blew
good.
off.
Okay.
They're just going through the air. They're not doing.
Okay. Okay, now I'm back. Sorry, it helps to recap that because you guys knowing it already, going through it, it seemed to go over my head.
They're just flying through the air.
Mine's kind of
Okay.
standing still.
Oh, now
but
I remember.
still
I
lazy.
remember.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So then the other
The strength to throw them.
numerological association we have is our star card. 17, 1 and 7 is an 8, also related to strength. And Hershe has a beautiful reading for us.
I do. All right, y'all ready for this one?
Yes.
As the narrator gets ready to tell the story. Okay, so y'all know I'm all about my source books, and I'm all about looking at it, tying it together, seeing how many endless infinity doors I can put together, right? So 2, maybe 3 years ago, a incredible reader that I know, I'm a huge fan of his, started pointing out the accomplishment you get when you get to the 17th card, the spiritual strength that is gained in the 17th card. So today, as I was getting ready for class, I ran across something in, my handy dandy book that I bring to class every week, and it says this: the star, number 17, numerally adds up to 8. The star depicts a young female girl, usually naked, pouring water from 2 jugs, one onto the river as she kneels at the edge of it, and one at the foot of her so that she can water the ground. Above her head is a large 16-point star, which is two 8-point stars overlapping each other, surrounding her, with 7 smaller arranged 8-pointed stars. As you can see the appearance here, we are trying to get you to understand that it is not last, but it is the strength within her that represents the mingling of the earth within and the sphere of the heavens as she surrounds herself by the knowledge squared by 4.
I just love the artwork. Just beautiful.
Squared by 4 has to have, what was the 4 card again?
I mean, squared by 2. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Breitbart, squared by 2. So it just means that it's constantly, you know what I'm saying? And that when I look at the star cards, you have to really count all the stars. But if you count the stars, count how many stars you see on a star card.
Well, there are 7 small ones and then 1 big one. But the 1 big one, they say it's 2, but still, it's 1 big one. 8.
So it's just more ways of seeing the interaction between the
Mhm.
8. And so, like, it's not 1 big one in this one. It's literally an orange one and a yellow one overlapping so that you can see the different
Yeah.
points of it. So
Interesting.
So then is there 9 stars? Are there 9 stars? Every card's going to be different.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine going, oh, it's a star, but I don't see the same. But
Yeah, mine on the standard Rider-Waite only has the 8 pointed stars. There's no 16 on mine, but you know, it's just.
this is the Marseille. I was showing you the 16-point star.
Mm.
On
No,
my
I haven't-
Marseille deck, it's there. On my standard, it's just an 8.
And
Okay.
if you remember, in our
The water
numerology,
star.
if you remember in the numerology, 4 was the first stable number. And
Yes.
so 2 4s, you can either stack and make 8, or you can be side by side and make 8. And they're stronger together, either as a barrier or a structure.
Now, my Heaven and Earth tarot, I find interesting is they put some astrology signs into each of the stars. So as I learn astrology,
Well, that's like
I
your
can get elements.
spiritual card that you ties in with you thinking 8 having to do with spirituality. This is more of the spirituality aspect of it too, where they relate to each other.
Exactly.
Correct. And so our zodiac sign associated with strength is Libra. Venus rules it, and Saturn's the ascendant. Just
Just
to know.
little knowledge.
So what's, oh, anyway, we're star, not strength. Wait a minute. Was that strength or star?
We're on
That was
strength.
strength.
That was strength. So which symbol is this then? Is that Mercury? No. That's a node, isn't it?
I
On
can't
the
see.
star
No.
or on the strength?
card. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that I've seen on my chart.
So I know he's got one of the Hebrew letters on the tiger, but I'm trying to figure out what that one is.
Let me
I'm
see.
still learning the symbols. Okay. I'll look it up later.
So for your homework, we don't have to do it all together today. It's just real simple. Get yourself a sheet of paper and draw around. Pretend that you're giving yourself a high five. What hand do you do that with? I usually do it with the right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little awkward because you're going to place your hand flat on a piece of paper and draw from your wrist around each of your fingers, spread them out a little bit, and back down to your wrist. And then inside your hand, right, you've got this, and tack it up on your mirror. Whatever mirror you print for the day, you know, whether it be a hallway mirror or your bathroom mirror. And every time you go by, look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a high five.
You are strong.
Yep, you've got this. It may be tough now, but I can persevere.
You
I have
power of the
patience.
phoenix within you, and the lion, and everything.
And Michelle doesn't have to do that because she's already shown me the fingerprints on her mirror. So
I
Oh
have
my
one mirror, but I don't think Shan's gonna want me to put that on there. So what I'll do is I'll use my iPad, because every time I go to do a show,
I'm
do
standing and
videos.
wait for the mirror to grab you and pull you in.
Yeah, oh my god.
Oh,
There.
sourpuss, you ain't gonna go far if you do.
So, ladies, stick around. That's all we have for the
Really
strength
quick,
card.
you said the
I have to
astrology,
get going, though.
the sign it was related to was
Libra.
Libra, or okay, because everything I keep seeing about that symbol, I've seen it. It's I think it's a node. I don't
It's
really
one of
know.
the
You'll look it
nodes.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks
a
like an
north node,
omega
I think.
sign is Libra.
And yeah, but the sign
Well,
she
this
was
is
talking
a-
about
It's an omega
Yeah.
sign.
was the south
It's a
node or
node.
the north node. I think. I don't know.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I think, but
Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
I have to go. Thank you,
Bye,
Thomas.
Heather.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. It was so nice to meet
Bye.
you, Michelle.
yes, you
Bye,
too.
everybody.
Oh, and Michelle, don't forget to email me your address so I can get that deck to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.